Responsible gun owners.
I'm done with Matthew McConaughey. We already played what he had to say. No. You talk about like responsible legislation and shit. Like these motherfuckers being sensible. But yet here's Senator John Thune.
And, you know, other types of varmints. And so...
hold on. Twitter is lagging behind here.
In my state, they use them to shoot prairie dogs and, you know, other types of varmints. And so I think that there are legitimate reasons why people would want to have them. And I think the challenge you have already is that there are literally millions of them available.
I may steal that. A delightful taste of dystopia. It's like the tagline for the show. A delightful taste of dystopia. John Thune says they use them to shoot prairie dogs in his state. Do you want to know what a prairie dog looks like? It's the cutest goddamn thing you will ever see. Just for reverence, here's a prairie dog. It's not a dog. It's a prairie dog. Sitting cow? I would think so. I'm like, why? Why would you even want to kill? I mean, I know, like, oh, it's all in my crops. It's eating everything up because look at it demolish that leaf. Go on misadventures with you. Yes, that's what this motherfucker needs to be doing. I can totally understand that there are things that a prairie dog, especially on a farm, could disrupt. But look at this. Drake, are we screwed? Republicans need AR-15s to be able to shoot this little prairie dog here. That's what Senator John Thune was arguing. Sparkles said they're known for racketeering. And, like, the cute face could be deceptive. Damn, look at him go. I think he's cute as shit. I just want you to see what it is that Republicans are putting up. Is like, we need AR-15s to protect ourselves against prairie dogs. Meanwhile, somebody has one sitting on their bed, feeding it some lettuce. He is Poppy the Prairie Dog on TikTok if you guys want to follow him. Oh, you guys need a content warning for this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Deej.
We're getting ready to hear from Ted Cruz.
You know, there ought to be at least 3 propositions on which
there ought to be a content warning anytime anybody shows Ted Cruz's face.
All of us can agree. Number 1, violent crime is always unacceptable and should be punished severely.
What a revelation.
Number 2, hate is wrong. And number 3, the machinery of the federal government should not be used as a tool to target and persecute your political opponents. All 3 of those propositions should be.
Prairie dogs are originally from Epstein's Island. Okay, the more I learn about these damn prairie dogs, but perhaps you guys are convincing me that they're not to be trusted. Goddamn, violence is wrong, says Ted Cruz. What a profound statement that Ted Cruz dares to spew on the record, on the congressional record.
Spectrum. Unfortunately,
spectrum. He agrees that sex traits are distributed across the spectrum.
acts of violence. When it comes to white supremacy, when it
Ted
comes
Cruz is originally a prairie dog.
to vicious hate groups like the Klan or the Nazi Party,
Violent crime bad.
they are
Step 2.
unequivocally hateful,
Step 3,
bigoted,
profit.
racist morons who should be denounced and despised.
I mean, it's coming from your side. Just saying.
I do think my colleagues on the Democratic side of the aisle try very hard to erase the history of the Klan.
What?
That it was formed.
Oh my God! It's the Klan or we're Democrats argument. Ted Cruz, he must spend all his time in Facebook groups. Klan was formed by Democrats.
By elected Democrats, that its leadership was almost entirely elected Democrats, that the authors of the Jim Crow laws were without exception elected Democrats. And I also think today's congressional Democrats try to use the charge of white supremacy, which is undoubtedly evil, bigoted, and wrong, and weaponized by their own party. They try to use that as a proxy for attacking a political party they disagree with.
This is a sitting senator
Do so
making the same argument I would see
anti-Jewish violence.
on a local fucking East Tennessee news site's fucking Facebook comment section.
My view is simple.
What
Violence,
kind of world do we live in?
whatever your ideology, left wing, right wing, no wings. If you are seeking to hurt people, it is wrong.
No wings. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. That was not what I meant to put up there.
Is violence from white supremacist extremist organizations a problem? Absolutely. As is violence from other hate groups. The Brooklyn subway shooter was a known black supremacist who called for racial violence. The Waukesha attack.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I was like, he's gonna say Waukesha. He's gonna say Waukesha. That dude was just running from the fucking cops and ran into a parade. They want to say like that's some kind of fucking hate motivated crime. Like seriously, his entire argument came from the comment section of a local news outlet on Facebook. Sorry.
who murdered 6 people driving an SUV into a Christmas parade, was a viciously left-wing black nationalist bigot.
Oh my God. He is a walking meme.
Another black nationalist gunned down 5 police officers in Dallas. I was there with President Obama at the funeral for those police officers. He did so on explicitly racial grounds. In 2019, 2
That was wild. That was a wild instance.
in a kosher grocery store. San Francisco in the past year has seen a 567%.
That one, he brought up San Francisco. It's, God damn, everything is out of the comment section. The whole thing with the dude in Dallas, it's the one where they used the robot to kill him. That was wild.
Increase in anti-Asian violence. Anti-Jewish hate crimes in New York City are up 148% in the first quarter of 2022 compared to the first quarter of 2021. And then, of course, we have the violence of the Antifa riots and the Black Lives Matter riots that racked this country. As stores were looted, police cars were firebombed, people were assaulted, people were murdered.
Dude Man 76.
My colleagues on the Democratic
What
side
up, Dude Man?
excused, sought to apologize for, even went so far as raised money to bail out of jail the violent rioters committing these acts of violence.
Okay, I owe you 5. I don't think I took the bet, but I'll
When it
totally.
comes to violence, the Department of Justice should
Because
not
none of us were going to take that bet.
to target the political.
We knew it was coming.
Administration is in power, Republican or Democrat.
Oh,
but
He's implying that the Obama administration used the IRS to target conservatives. Like it's just a whole list of grievances. This is the victim culture of the right.
Violent crime should be prosecuted vigorously across the board to keep people safe. Mr. Herdman, you personally prosecuted the anarchist bridge bombers, 5 left-wing extremists who broke off of the Occupy protests and plotted to bomb in the Cleveland area. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
Can you describe that case and what you encountered?
Let me tell you that Ted Cruz had the audacity to bring that up in a hearing where this happened.
Though I will be sharing
This is another one of those where it's probably going to be a powerful moment. So, content warning. This is the son of one of the victims in the Buffalo shooting.
with you some of my family's memories about my mother and the devastation her murder has wrought upon our family. The truth is that I'm speaking on behalf of all of the victims and their families. Mrs. Ruth Whitfield was my mother. She was literally and figuratively the heartbeat of our family and my father's soulmate for 68 years. She was the person who held us together, probably just like your mothers did for your families. What I loved most about her was the way she loved her family unconditionally, sacrificing everything for us. She visited my father at the nursing home where he's lived for the past 8 years almost every day.
Hold on, I don't want to stop it, but I don't believe I see Ted Cruz sitting here for this man's testimony. I just want to point that out. That there are only 3 senators sitting here, 4, and Ted Cruz is not one of them. So this is the same hearing you just heard from Ted Cruz, that whole bunch of bullshit that you would have heard from any dumbass on the comment section. But he didn't have the gall to sit here for the son of one of the shooting victims in Buffalo. Wow. I mean, I may be mistaken. This is a small video, but I do not see Ted Cruz sitting there.
Where he's lived for the past 8 years almost every day, including on the day she was murdered, to ensure that he got the care that he needed from the nursing home and to supplement that care with their own personal and loving touch. Our lives are forever changed, forever damaged by an act of profound hate and evil. And nothing will ever take away the hurt, the pain, or the hole in our hearts. For her to be murdered, taken away from us by someone.
And if he was still sitting there in that room and heard Ted Cruz go off on that whole bunch of bullshit, I'm sorry, sir, that you heard an elected senator say that shit in front of you. Anonymous gifter, thank you for gifting a sub.
So full of hate is impossible to understand and even harder to live with. But we're more than hurt. We're angry. We're mad as hell because this should have never happened. We're good citizens, good people. We believe in God. We trust in God. But this wasn't an act of God. This was an act of a person. And he did not act alone. He was radicalized by white supremacists his anger and hatred were metastasized like a cancer by people with big microphones in high places screaming that black people were going to take away their jobs and opportunities. Every
They
enforcement
took our jibs. It's the same shit. It's the same shit.
conducted risk and threat analysis and determined that white supremacy is the #1 threat to the homeland. And yet, nothing has been done to mitigate it or eradicate it. We're people of decency. We're taught to love even our enemies. But our enemies don't love us. So what are we supposed to do with all our anger and all of our pain? Do you expect us to continue to just forgive and forget over and over again? And what are you doing? You're elected to protect us, to protect our way of life.
Sir, I have the answer to
Ask
your
every
question,
one of you
actually.
to imagine the faces of your mothers as you look at mine. And ask yourself, is there nothing that we can do? Is there nothing that you personally are willing to do to stop the cancer of white supremacy and the domestic terrorism it inspires? Because if there is nothing, then, respectfully, senators, you should yield your positions of authority and influence.
I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh. I was laughing at producer Dave. The joke that he made. I have an answer to your question, sir, and unfortunately, what the Republicans think, disturbing percentage of Republicans think mass shootings are just something we have to accept. That is the answer to your question. One of the most depressing aspects of the recent spate of mass shootings in America, second only to the loss of so many innocent lives, is the feeling that basically nothing is going to change, despite Mitch McConnell's claim that he'd task Texas Senator John Cornyn with working with Democrats to come up with a bipartisan solution to the epidemic of gun violence. Cornyn tweeted last Wednesday that there was absolutely no truth to the rumor that he was going to make gun laws more restrictive. Cornyn, of course, is far from the only Republican who refuses to do anything about the fact that mass killings are a near daily feature of life in this country, where the GOP will try to blame gun deaths on literally anything but guns. And fucking the Daily Wire was talking about how pot causes mass shootings. Not lying. Insider reports that a new poll by CBS News and YouGov shows that 44% of Republicans believe mass shootings are something we have to accept as a part of a free society. The majority of Democrats and independents, same people, 85% and 73% respectively, think these events are preventable if we really tried.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes, I think you're all fucking stupid. You know, they aren't going to ban any kind of weapon. And what they are trying to ban? Trans athletes.